So this church I've been going to gave out turkeys a week before Thanksgiving. I volunteered to help out there. They need, help setting up and people out there to pray, So I volunteered to help and to pray for people. So you see these people coming in. A lot of them that come for these turkeys don't actually need help. It's just a free turkey. It comes with doing that stuff. You see it, you saw even, it's funny because you see even Muslims come through the church. The women in the head wrap and everything coming to church to get the turkeys, and some even got prayer, I'm sure they didn't think anything of it. They just, didn't want to seem like they were using the church. But anyway, that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. So people coming through, and it was, and I watched. That's, I like watch people in their faces, and I really try to pay attention to people characteristics, moving, just to get a read on people. And so you see a lot of people coming in, and it was like, you see one guy coming through it, and it's like depression all on the guy. He come through, he just came through for a turkey, but he in a bad place, but he said, I'll take some prayer. And just talking to him, you see that he's in a place and he's being tormented. And people don't understand that this stuff is demonic and that, this is what Satan does. They coming through for some free stuff, but it's like God is there to help you. And I'm talking to him, and it's like, and it's just like, no, it's not as bad as you think it is. It's like you being lied to, and you try to tell people this stuff, but people don't want to accept it because a lot of them aren't ready to let go of the life that they're living, whether it be the smoking or the drinking or just the lifestyle. They're not ready to commit to a lifestyle of holiness. So people resist God, and then they just be tormented out there in the world. So there's this one woman in particular who was at work. I'm not going to say what kind of van she was driving, but she was at work drove a van that was work in her work van. She was at work. I didn't speak to her. It was another man of God there, awesome man of God. And he was, just talking to her. And, she had a pretty woman. She was great sense of humor. She was laughing, joking and everything. It was talking to her. And I was just, sitting there, because we were like taking turns praying for the people coming in. So I was just sitting there and just listening. And, eventually she was like, I'm going to give you my number because I'm at work. I got to go. It's funny. He said, okay. And she said, just pray for me so I can get out of here. She's like, I got to get back to work. He said, okay. So he went and prayed for her, and I went over there to agree in prayer, just to stand over there and agree in prayer with what he was saying for her. And as he's praying, I hear she's in danger. Somebody's in her life that she's holding on to, that she should be holding on to, and she's in danger. So I hear this, and as he's praying, and it's coming more and more forcefully, like she is in danger. So I said, all right, I got to say something. This is God. I know God is telling me this is something I got to say. So after he finished, so before, this is the thing, it's like when God would tell me something, I would give it to people raw. I had to learn that you have to soften up. It'd be like, hey, you're going to die. You keep doing what you're doing. That's just how I would give it to people. But it's like, I learned that it's easier for people to swallow medicine if it's a little bit sweet. So I simply told her, you're holding on to somebody that that you have no business holding on to. And she had this confused look for a minute, and it was like, oh, and then she just put her head down and she just like nodded like, yeah, you're right. And it was just like, that's like, you don't have any business, because I'm trying to drive home to her. You shouldn't be holding on to her. And she just nodded her head. And then she, and I was like, I'm gonna let you go. And I just told her, I was like, I don't want to see you on the news. And her eyes got big as quarters because she knew exactly what I was saying. And then she got, and she put her car in gear, and then she just bust out crying, and she driving off because she knows what I'm talking about. I don't know this lady, but she knows that this is clearly a warning to her from God, and she has to make a decision. Now, she just came through for a free turkey. I was just like, I know I'm gonna see this lady Sunday. I know she's gonna come. I know, because I'm like, You know you put yourself in danger, and God just warned you ahead of time. I ain't see hide nor hair of her. There was other folk there that was just boo-hooing and coming for prayer. Maybe one came that I seen. It was like, it's not that. Like, I know like a church folk get in that, like, oh, you should come to church for it. I don't care about none of that. But my thing is like, let's at least introduce you to Jesus. Because once you have him, wherever you go, he's going to go with you. But people didn't even come for that. And I'm like, how many of you out there? How many people out there? And you're just like, all these travesties just happen in your family. And the first thing you want to say, if God was real, why this happened? If God was real, that happened. Those things happen because of godlessness. I will say it. It is because you don't have God in your life. And then you got to argue with people who believe they have God in their life because they commit themselves. I go to church every Sunday and believe that is what makes them holy, and that has nothing to do with it. Church has nothing, people's like, you got to go to church. If you say you're supposed to go to church, no, that has nothing to do with your salvation. It is not. The Bible says, forsake not the assembling of yourself, as some have. It is not has to do with your salvation. It's to maintain it. It helps, because being around like-minded people helps keep you from slipping back into worldliness. If you're around worldly people, you'll start acting like them. If you're around people who are living holy, you'll conduct yourself like them. That is why. So when wrath finally comes, because people think that God has forgiven your sins, but wrath has to be that wrath it's going to come. God, it's just held back. For those that are forgiven, that wrath has passed from us, but wrath is coming, and people don't get this. And it's like they thinking like, oh, it's just you come to church. It's like me. I'm just getting back into church because I was so frustrated with all the foolishness in there. Everybody want to build a business out of God's house instead of saving souls. It's like people want to go over to Africa to feed, which I'm saying is nothing wrong, but you got poor people in your church. Stupid. It's like the whole thing that people don't miss the heart of God. It was like, if you don't taking care of those who are around you first, so you just want to say that, hey, I went overseas and I've done this work, which again, I'm not shunning, but make sure that the people that's around you are taken care of first, because those are the ones that God have put in your life. And then now you're forsaking what God has put into your life to go take care of something God never assigned to you. God got people in Africa. I'm not saying they don't need your help. I'm saying there's order to it, which I've gotten completely off, but I guess it's what God wants me to say. This is me. I want y'all to really focus on this woman who life was in danger, and think about your kids. Think about your parents. Think about your brothers, sister, and cousin who something tragic could happen to them any day. And you'll be like, why did this have to happen? Why did this have to happen? And the thing is that if you know God, then you can pray for them. You can pray that protection they're not praying over their lives. If something happens to somebody you're not praying for, you can't get upset at God about that. We're his representative on earth. He gave his people authority here on earth. It's like a robber breaking in your house and you got a gun, and then he shoots up the house and people in your family, and then you say, well, I was waiting on the police to get here to do anything. People are going to be looking like, why didn't you defend your family? You were armed, you were trained, you had the weapons to do it. I was waiting on the police to get here. It's the same way here. You use your authority here. God gave it to you. Pray for the people around you. If you don't know God, you got to get to know him, because you don't know how to fight for your family. You don't know how to pray for them. I could tell you stories where God has warned me ahead of time that danger was coming for somebody in my family. But that's another story. I don't want to make this long. It went longer than I thought, but I just want y'all to focus on, like, if you putting off knowing God or getting a relationship with God, and you in God and you thinking that holiness is not a part of it, you are in danger. you are in danger.